Welcome again to the wonderful quote-unquote Scuttlebutt podcast. Do you like that name? Let us know. Podcast at labattleship.com. We are still working on the music. I talked to our famous electrician George yesterday, and he said he found an old accordion in his house, and who knows what else he has. And so he was looking at playing this old broken accordion to be the opening soundtrack. So we may be getting closer to that. But here we are once again at the Associated Foundation's Training Center in memory of Barry Herlihy, kicking off the podcast. And I don't know how many episodes we're in, but it's downloaded over 1,500, I think I saw last week. And we appreciate everyone listening. So I think we've heard a little bit of excitement about Fleet Week. This should be coming out the week of Fleet Week, I believe. And of course, we record this in advance. I hate to admit that to our listeners, but we do record this in advance. And if you hear me, this is Jonathan Williams, and I sound like I've gotten a deep voice, and it's not because I've been staring in a mirror trying to practice my voice.
You had a little Barry White going on when you said Barry Herlihy. It was kind of cool.
He does, though. He does practice in the mirror, but that's not why his voice is deep.
I do that on a regular basis, but I got that famous cold that my 11-year-old gave me when he came in. I walked into the house, and he famously wiped his nose and wiped it all over me and said, "You got my cooties now." And I was like, whatever, get out of my way. And I did get his cooties. So it's only been about 2 days in cold medicine. But I've got this deep voice and this deep level of irritation today as we're about 5 days out from Fleet Week. And the irritation sets in. And I think today we're going to go back into the Fleet Week realm of things and delve a little deeper on it. I'm going to start the conversation out with a few things. Number one, since this will come out over Fleet Week, we supposedly have two ships. We're technically barred from saying anything about them because it's the movement of vessels in advance. But by the time this comes out, it should be the USS Essex and the USS Portland that will be here in the Port of Los Angeles for Fleet Week, as well as numerous equipment displays and tanks and helicopters and that kind of thing. And then also lay the groundwork for we have about 170 individual events. For any of those of you that are listeners that have planned an event, multiply that times 170 plus, and that doesn't even include any of the band concerts going through LA or some of the other things in LA. So you're looking at an event that's about 200 events, I think. So as we kick that off, just laying that groundwork, I'm not even sure what the first question should be on this podcast. I'm kind of lost because I got fog brain. So where are we going to go with this?
You should probably go around the room since there's a chance we have brand new listeners and at least tell people who's in the room.
Oh, that's probably smart. So once again, I am the Jonathan Williams. My head is so big I can't get through a watertight door. Even though I've lost 165 pounds. The body, it used to be the head got through the hatch or through the scuttle, and then the body was like stuffing sausage. You kind of lifted one side and got the other side up and pried yourself in, and it made this sound. Bloop. And so over the years now, I've had to go the reverse direction. I've had to go feet first and then pull the head through, obviously, because of the ego problems. But in all reality...
does paint a picture.
Yeah, doesn't it?
Kind of like the captain in Wall-E.
Wow. I did tell Ross last night, I said, I must, if I really had an ego, I wouldn't talk about my ego.
No, I don't
think it works like that.
It doesn't work that way? Oh, okay.
I think you totally got denied on that one.
Did I get denied on that? I thought the fact that I can make fun of my ego means I don't really have an ego. It's just a self-confidence issue.
No.
No, there really is an ego.
I don't know.
So Jonathan found himself in the target reticle there.
Yeah, I got right into it. I pulled myself right into the middle of that one. So we're going to go around the room. I'm smack dab kind of in the middle of the room, although Moran is right next to me in the other part of the middle of the room, your starboard side, or no, your port side. Actually,
I'm like right over
we're
the
facing
keel,
aft. We're facing aft.
We're
right
facing
now.
aft, yeah.
Well, you and I are facing aft. I'm kind of facing port.
You're facing
aft.
Port.
Kind of
I'm
like
facing
southwest,
just plain
southeast,
aft.
port aft. Port aft, starboard aft.
We will put a compass onto your YouTube video so you can see where we're looking.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Okay.
The bow is.
So should we go that way? Let's go that way.
That's fine. We'll
Pointing in.
Let's go to my starboard.
Okay, I'm Marianne Fengler. I'm the executive assistant here, and I'm podcast producer, which apparently means I have power in this room, according to some people. So I get to do fun things like this. Over to you, Mike.
That was fun.
Mike Getcher. I'm the Chief Operating Officer, the Chief Engineer, known as a Chang in Navy parlance. And I got I got to tell you that, not really Fleet Week, but the first time that I was talking about maybe taking this job was the 2011 Navy Days, which is an amazing event down here. We'll talk about that in a minute.
So I'm David Campfield. I'm the Vice President, Chief Information Officer, Chief Technical Officer, and former Iowa crew member from the 1980s.
Hard to top that. I'm Jenny Sova. I am the Chief of Staff and the former Planning Director for LA Fleet Week.
I am Kyle Abbey. I am the Development Manager, so I'm helping fundraise for the National Museum of the Surface Navy and all the other fun things we do aboard. And I try and balance out Jonathan's irritation and anger with a few witty comments here and there.
Yeah, that's his job.
It is.
Does a good job with it.
He brings balance
It's in the
to
description.
The force.
So as I continue to work on my fear of rejection, and I work with Kyle. Kyle didn't put his plug to ask for money, so I need to ask for money. Of course, Kyle, you forgot that as development manager.
There's a time into place, Jonathan.
Oh, you just do it all the time. I have to do it all the time. So anyways, if you
It
want to
waters it
donate
down.
to us, go to pacificbattleship.com and donate to support everything we do here at the Iowa and the National Museum of the Surface Navy and everything we do.
You can donate in memory of all the weight that Jonathan has lost.
I did that at competition. Nobody matched the donation. I mean, they said they were going to, but nobody did. Pound for pound.
I'm just trying to lose as much weight
Did
as
you
you
box them? What do you mean pound? Oh, like you don't?
Yeah, like I was at like 220, and I said, who's gonna take me to my goal? And a few people said they do it, and I don't know if those donations ever came through. Honestly, I mean, I starved myself to get donations for this organization.
I was going to say we've had volunteers who've shaved their beard, shaved their mustache, shaved their head, and
The
shaved
sacrifices we
some
make.
weight.
Yeah, I
all
shaved
of that,
weight.
That works.
I melted my fat. I reduced the I stopped eating tater tots. Reduced my ranch consumption.
That hurts me.
Cut out carb. It was just It's been horrible. It
does. I feel you, but I'm not doing it.
But anyways, so before we go too
Are we here
far,
for Fleet Week or for weight loss?
I don't know. Well, maybe we should talk about weight loss today. Fleet Week is about weight loss or weight gain in some of our cases.
That's true.
So Fleet Week was started in 2016. It's really a unique relationship between the Port of Los Angeles, our organization, which is the Pacific Battleship Center. The USO comes in on some of the military engagement servicing side, and Mayor Eric Garcetti's office, the City of Los Angeles, and City of Los Angeles EMD. And then those are really the core, I think, planning folks that are involved. But it's really much broader than that. It's a big team of folks. As we go into Fleet Week, I can't tell you how we kind of ended up in this, but we did end up in it. And it's really kind of our keystone event, I think, every year, and where we commit a lot of resources and time into it. And it's exciting to welcome folks here. You mentioned the Abraham Lincoln in 2011 prior to the Iowa ever being here.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Was that 2011?
Yeah.
Wow.
The brief story for me is that Bill Maggio, one of our lead volunteers here, machinist and everything, good friend, a 34-year friend now, he mentioned to me the Iowa's coming, and I thought, well, that's stupid. I'm not kidding. I actually said that. But I started thinking about it, and I think I was already beginning to talk to you and decided, well, there might be a viable option here for a job. And so I decided to take Bill and come down to Navy Days at that time. And I don't remember. It would have been August, I think.
Yeah, it would have been
Yeah.
August.
Yeah, and so it was just before, in fact, I went to see the ship. And I was stunned. 50,000 people. The Abraham Lincoln was down at 46. And I think there's a DDG and a CG over here behind kind of where we're at here now. And it was a nightmare from a parking and traffic perspective. It was well known as a nightmare. But I said, wow, people really want to see the Navy. They want to meet the Navy, and they like the ships. And I said, you know what? That's a business opportunity in a sense, that this could be actually a good role for me. So here I am.
Well, and as we go 10 years later, Navy Days continued till 15, I think, and 16 was our first year going to a Fleet Week, which is one of 8 designated Fleet Weeks across the country. Of course, we started over Labor Day weekend, and we're shifting to Memorial Day weekend this year. I'm fully cognizant sometimes folks look at what we do and go, what are you doing? It's like a squirrel. You're jumping all over the board, but actually it was a real strategic decision as we went to the beginning of summer and we got rid of the heat, which
Yes.
was it was like hell out here.
It was 104 one year. I remember that out there at First Street. It was
It
brutal.
was horrible.
Yeah.
It was
Plus
it
the
was,
fires, if you remember
Yeah.
that one year, and then all the fire department folks had to leave. It was brutal.
Yeah, it was just Labor Day was the wrong weekend. Going to Memorial Day, we have a lot of excitement. The kickoff to summer, quite a bit of advertising out there with billboards and some digital advertising and things right now. So I think we're going to see some pretty good numbers. But let's talk. I'm going to go back to Mike real quick, but let's talk about the branches coming this year, because we talk Navy, of course, because we're on a Navy ship. But I always like to talk about sea services. But I think it's more than that. So let's talk about what other branches are coming and what they're bringing to the table this year.
Of course, the Navy, we have the Marine Corps, which is part of the Navy, even if they deny it, which is always funny. And then we've got the Army this year, which is a big change. And we've always had the Coast Guard show up, too. So we have, all of them but the Air Force and the Space Force, I guess. And didn't they talk to somebody, Jenny? I think they did. Or
Yes.
yeah. So that's a potential option in the future. But yeah, this year we have an Army Blackhawk coming, for example, and an M1 Abrams tank and a handful of other really cool pieces of equipment. So it's pretty exciting. The expo is going to be really cool.
So for our listeners, who's winning between the Marine Corps and the Army battle of who's going to bring out the coolest stuff?
Marines.
Marine Corps is
Marines.
kicking ass. I mean, really, they're bringing 3 aircraft. They're going to land all within 10 minutes of each other.
That's going to be
It's
just awesome.
going to be
It's gonna be
amazing.
epic.
Yeah.
Well, we should have video for that. I think
We
we'll
will
put out there,
absolutely
right?
have video of that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the Army's bringing some stuff. I mean, I think they were actually really engaged. Fort Irwin's all over this. They're going to bring in their mounted unit too. They're going to have 2 tracked vehicles and some other stuff. But the Marine Corps is really, really doing well, and they're great.
I do want to give a shout out to the Army because I think it's cavalry, first Calv that's coming.
Yeah.
And when I saw those uniforms, those things are awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just awesome. The first time I saw them in the planning meeting and saw those uniforms, I'm like, hey, we need a bull riding competition around here.
The dodgeball's not enough.
No, bull riding with those Ariat uniforms and the Wranglers. I'm like, oh, bull riding. Let's get off dodgeball. I mean, Army's going to win the bull riding competition on that. But
Yeah.
It's
Is
kinda
that going to
fun
be
this-
the 171st event of Fleet Week?
yeah,
Because we have 170, so it's 170.
Very good. No,
Pardon
it's going to be fun. One of the big events during Fleet Week is Galley Wars, and normally it's the ships competing in a sort of reality cooking show, but this year it's going to be the services competing. So we're all I'm gunning for Navy, obviously, but it'll be fun to have a lot of services there.
Yeah.
I've heard Navy Region Southwest has a mean catering and cooking department.
They got a ringer.
they got a ringer. The
I
Coast
think
Guard brought in the ringer.
You know
a few
who
years
had
ago.
the ringer was the
Did they?
Canadians, though. The Canadians.
The Canadians.
Well, it
when
was
they
not fair.
won-
The Canadians
It was
got you
just waffles.
drunk.
The Canadians
Moose milk,
2018.
right?
Absolutely, and the Canadians, the ship that they brought, their whole purpose in life was to show the flag and host receptions. So they
Anybody know what moose milk is?
absolutely. I've been trying to get Caesar.
Ice cream
on-
Kahlua.
gross.
What is it? Ice cream
It's
Kahlua.
not gross.
Gross.
It's not
It's
gross.
not
at all.
gross.
It's
I'm
not
trying to
gross.
get Caesar to cook up a batch of moose milk. Every ship in the Canadian Navy has kind of their own secret recipe, and I think we should have one.
So what is in milk?
It's rum, Kahlua.
It's ice cream and Kahlua and a lot of other white liquors. There's a lot of
Wow.
alcohol.
I think there's a lot of
Wow.
rum in there and stuff too.
The ice cream's really good.
It is. I mean, one is enough to make you go to the second, and for some reason, the second
Yeah, they're-
slaps you
they're-
after
they're
you finish it.
Yeah, they're deceptive.
It doesn't
Yeah,
slap you on
I
the
was-
way you're drinking the second. It slaps you after you consume the second.
Yeah, I was hanging out with their chief snipe or stoker, as they call them, the engineers that are on the ship, and we did more than 2.
I remember the one night you and I were
ice cream.
having our second, and suddenly we get the phone call that there's an incursion,
Oh my gosh!
and multiple phone calls. You and I hop in the Kubota, we're hauling ass all the way back, and we're met by a lieutenant from the port PD with an M4 hanging out off his side.
Oh yeah, that was there's exciting times during Fleet Week. So that was
Security's a big deal.
That was somebody who decided it would be a good idea to swing around the edge of the fence on the port and get a closer look at the Navy ships. For anybody listening, that is
Don't
a
do that.
very bad plan. It is a very, very bad
They
plan.
have guns and they're loaded.
It's
Yeah.
a good way to make you not a
come
valued
back.
visitor anymore.
That was a really
So,
good way to put that.
Yeah, I think as we go forward on podcast stuff too, as well, I think going into the inspiration of this and what it kind of really means to all of us, because it's not haphazard what we do. I think for those folks that know or no Fleet Week. I mean, what is a normal day? I mean, Jenny's on the planning side. I'm gonna throw over to Jenny. What is your normal days in the lead up right now, and what is next week? What are you looking forward to? What are you not looking forward to? And what keeps you moving?
Okay, there's nothing normal ever on any day surrounding Fleet Week, so I'll just start with
Including
that.
people?
Including people, yes.
Including you.
Excluding present company, except myself. So actually the last week of Fleet Week is just last minute details, things that were either forgotten or need to be shored up, or can you do this, can we do that? That's really the bulk of it right now. I think for me the best part is the event. That's when I relax and have a good time. We solve problems as they happen on the ground through the by the golf cart.
On the golf cart. On the golf cart. Yep. With radios, cell phones, and
So
Moose milk in hand.
what is each person's talking about the golf cart? Number one, I'm not going to throw Jenny out there, but we all have our own vices and our addictions. Especially coming into Fleet Week, those vices and addictions, I think, get very much more prominent. And then we have our own golf cart routine. So Jenny, what is your addiction and your golf cart routine?
Okay, I'll start with my addiction. Low sodium peanuts. And then on the golf cart side, I like to race David Canfield down the racetrack.
We were racing for pink slips. My golf cart's out of commission because we had some helpful people that were trying to update it, so it's in pieces right now. So I'm gonna have to borrow a golf cart this year. I'm sharing one with Sue Schmidt.
Okay.
So like a checkered flag and everything when you guys race?
We're trying absolutely.
No, we're serious about it. But since you don't have your own golf cart, I'll do the donuts at the app.
No, I'll use Sue's. Okay. Sue and I are sharing a golf cart. I will have a golf cart to do donuts at the end of Fleet Week.
Okay. So that's it. That's what you wanted to hear, right?
You like peanuts in
Yeah,
your
well,
cola?
we know, and I'm not going to make you state it, but we know you got another addiction that we're not going to make you state on podcast. But
No, because my son thinks I've broken it before Fleet Week.
well, maybe
So
you have. I'm not going to confirm
maybe
it.
I
I'm not
have.
going to confirm any which way.
Okay.
But for our listeners, if you happen to have any Coca-Cola memorabilia or Coca-Cola shirts, please feel free to send it to the Battleship, Iowa. Attention, Jenny Sova.
A Coke and a smile.
Yeah, a Coke and a smile. That will keep
There
her.
are
That
so
will keep her
many
going.
comments. They just didn't enough time on a podcast. There.
Which, by the way, a shout out. Battleship, Iowa was the #1 Coke selling ship in the Navy in the late 80s.
That's
Really?
It sold more Coke in the late 80s. I mean,
We should
Coca-Cola,
say
let's be clear.
Coca-Cola.
In the
Let's
late
say
80s.
Coca-Cola.
I mean, it was doing Coke interdiction at some points.
actually true also.
But it sold it. There was more. The sailors on board Iowa consumed more Coca-Cola than any other Navy vessel in the fleet.
And now we've shifted to Pepsi. We're going to be the largest Pepsi-selling battleship in the world.
Maybe that's
shout
why I
out
have
Pepsi.
a problem.
Yeah, it's DNA. It's in the DNA.
It's maybe because I
You are
worked here too
surrounded.
long.
Just like
You are
osmosis.
surrounded by the environment that you have to consume
I think so.
a tremendous amount of Coca-Cola. And so I do want to say we're a Pepsi ship. As we're talking about Coca-Cola, I'm violating an agreement we have with Pepsi, but Pepsi
I'm sure
does
that's
provide.
Good to admit.
Pepsi
on
provides
air.
a significant amount of sponsorship to us today to be a Pepsi vessel. So for you, if you're listening to us, Pepsi, Jenny only consumes her Coca-Cola when she so chooses off premises.
That's correct. And you're only sharing history about
Yes,
the
exactly.
ship. Yeah. So, the truth is I started this probably about 5 years ago, so it may be the ship's fault.
It may be.
That means I'm not taking responsibility. I should be taking
The ship is an inanimate object. It's its fault? Is that what you're saying?
I know. Wait a second.
Yeah.
I blame a lot of my vices on the ship. I'm with Jenny on this one.
Ship bites.
stress
She's
eating.
mean.
All right.
Is that like Def Leppard? Did you say ship bites? Ship
Yeah.
bites.
Yeah, pretty
Wow,
much.
that was another 80s throwback, man. That was in high rotation here.
Are we talking about
Was
Fleet
it
Week
really?
or what are we doing?
I don't know what we're talking about, but Def Leppard is going to be the Whiskey Go-Go on May 26th, the evening of May 26th.
We're going to have to go.
With Rick Allen, who Rick Allen helps support Fleet Week this year. I don't know, is Rick showing up this year or not?
No,
but
no.
I think he's doing an opening message and things for Fleet Week, and we've got some great artists. Anyways, let's go to David and his vice and his golf cart
So
routine.
The Fleet Week vice is a venti upside down caramel macchiato,
Is it
usually
like-
in an IV bag if I can get it, a number 4 catheter. But the golf cart routine really is racing, Jenny. That's the thing, and possibly donuts at the end of Fleet Week. The Monday night when Fleet Week closes, and all of the guests are off the footprint. That is the time to look at the security video on the ship. Because golf carts do unnatural acts.
Did I hear something about them going up the F brow or something at some point?
I know to violate the point load. Are you kidding? The engineer is right here. I would never violate the point load on the.
As long as it's a light one, I don't care. If it's a Kubota, I'm not going to be happy.
There's people that roll down the F gangway. That's the thing.
It was actually people, because there were a few people who shall remain nameless, but one of their initials might be Jenny Sova, who were cracking up laughing as I was doing donuts at the bottom of the brow, and actually fell down and rolled down the gangway.
But I have to say there was red carpet on the F gangway, so I didn't hurt myself.
That would give you one heck of a burn.
That'd be a road rash.
So what's your golf cart and your...
I'm a Kubota guy.
Yeah, you are a Kubota guy.
And you got one now too this year.
Yeah, I'm going Kubota. I'm going to the dark side too.
With me, man.
Yeah, I'm going
on the
Kubota
dark
too.
side.
We're on the dark side. We're on the orange side.
I'm on the orange side. I want that beef and that torque.
That thing is 40 miles an hour. It hauls butt. I mean, it blows those golf carts away.
It does. It has a 2-inch receiver. You can tow trailers with it. I was moving stuff around with one of them last year.
Well, and of course, we have a split footprint for everybody that knows. So I'm going to be heading out to the Outer Harbor, I think, a lot. So
Can you go
that's why
off-roading in those? Like, not even stay
yeah,
on
you
harbor,
could.
just like bump along
They're
stuff?
4-wheel drive.
I knew
Nice.
traffic was going to be bad, which is why I did that. I intended to be able to drive up the parks and stuff.
Yeah.
I did ask for the overinflated tires so I could use a channel if necessary, but I don't know if that's going to work very well.
I don't think those are real gators. I probably wouldn't try that.
Yeah.
I have chains for my car. Snow chains.
They're cool.
No chains.
The ones we get are cool because they have a little pickup on the back, and you can change it from a 3-seater in the front to a 6-seater.
Not only a pickup, but it's got a little dump bed on the back.
Yeah, it actually tilts up. It's cool. You can dump people out of the back. It's
That's
hilarious.
absolutely cool.
Not that I've ever done that.
No.
So your vice with your golf cart?
I'm stuck in the golf cart all day. I have the battery for my phone. I chew through it so quickly, plus the radio. So I don't really have a vice with
You don't do anything weird in the golf cart, or
not that you
like
know.
any superstition? Any superstition? You don't get like the blessings out there.
You gotta keep
or
some secrets in life, Jonathan.
you don't like sprinkle water on it before you get in it, anything like that.
There are
Genuflect,
some
silence, frost,
missing key stories about the Kubota, but yeah.
Yeah, that's a case. Actually, the golf carts tend to end up disappearing all over the
Yeah, people
city.
steal each other's golf carts.
It's not.
Absolutely.
Well, they're going to be labeled this year.
Leave a label
When
every
it
year, doesn't matter
started,
at
they were
all.
labeled
yeah,
in
that's
previous
true.
years. And when they stole my golf cart, I'd steal their golf cart. And then,
And then it's on.
Yeah,
And then-
exactly.
Game on. Game
Yeah.
on.
All right, so Moran, you weren't here for Fleet Week, so you don't have any
I have
golf
no
carts.
golf carts.
Have you
you were
adopted
here.
a vice yet?
Actually, you were here for that first year you started, just before you
It
became
was
an
before
employee.
Fleet Week. I didn't stay.
She
for
didn't
Fleet
have the
Week, though.
stress or the
Yeah.
stress induced.
No, but she set up one of the events.
Yeah.
And that was actually your introduction to the ship,
Yeah.
really.
But she didn't have the
And I came
stress
back.
induced issues.
I know.
So
I'm not sure why.
have
but
you got stress induced issues yet as things are coming at you wildly and crazy and
So I decided about 2 weeks ago that I should stop swearing as much, and so I worked on that. And then yesterday I was swearing in email all day. So yeah,
that's your only stress induced issue? Wait till next week.
yeah, no, it's a roll with the punches. It's a Semper Gumby thing, and then
I cannot
just
fault
pump the chocolate and you're good to go.
stress-induced language. I think Jenny took the brunt of some stress-induced language yesterday.
I dish it out too, so it's okay.
So
It wasn't pointed at you.
I
You
know.
were just in the
I was-
effective radius.
I was.
It's like that thing from A Christmas Story where it's in a cloud hanging over the,
Yeah, it was actually some of those same words out of
Yeah.
A Christmas Story.
So Kyle, what is
Get a bar of soap?
you have any vices that have surfaced yet
Life
at this
boy.
point?
Gosh.
He's cool,
Not
calm, and
necessarily
collected.
vices. Maybe just kind of subconsciously thinking about all the things going on. I took out my aggression on a bougainvillea stump over the weekend.
got to do what you got to do.
Oh man,
How did that stump feel?
I hate bougainvillea.
How did it feel?
It's so pretty.
Well, it felt good when I got the first few whacks in there, but this stuff's been in there for decades and it is deep, just burrowed into the hillside. And so then I got upset and my back started to hurt, so I stopped.
Yeah,
Wow.
for me.
So the Bougainvillea won. Is that what you're saying?
No. It's
Round one?
This weekend he's going to be at it.
Yeah.
Him and Bougainvillea are going to be.
Either-
It's got to go.
Vinca or Scotch broom. I'm telling you, that stuff, you can pour gasoline on it and it will come back like the next week. You cannot kill that stuff.
As long as no environmentalists are listening, I may have taken some chemical starts with Roundup and nuked the backyard multiple times and targeted it at these bougainvillea.
You can get Roundup here?
Oh, they were flourishing. Oh,
my daughter-in-law is unhappy with me because I engage in chemical warfare against the weeds. But
yeah, it's tough.
So you know what I want to know? I want to know what each of us, what's like the hardest thing we're working on right now for Fleet Week?
Being patient.
Okay, that's legit.
So
That's legit.
So nobody cared about my vice, but my ego matters. So
I did.
What is your vice?
What
Yes,
is-
tell us
what is
your
your-
golf
I did.
cart
what is
thing
your
too,
vice
yes.
and your golf
everybody
cart
knows what my
routine?
vice. Everybody knows it. What is my golf cart, my vice, and my golf cart routine?
Your vice is chain smoking cigars that I cannot afford.
Yes. And I sit in my golf cart and I do that all day.
He even
All
has
night.
a little. He has
Sounds
a little
real
clamp.
busy.
He has a little clamp that clamps to the arm of the
Yep.
windshield and holds the cigar. It is like
That's
a
amazing.
custom cigar clamp.
I got a torch. I've got an ashtray that goes into the cup holder. And I'm known just to drive around and smoke cigars all day. And I got a cooler in the back this year for my protein shakes, so I don't even have to stop and eat.
So
I can keep drinking protein
that's
shakes.
healthy.
Wow.
It's healthy protein shakes and cigars. So
Cigars are healthy too. They're organic. They're
yeah.
vegetables.
Vegetables. That shout out to my daughter Rebecca,
Yep.
who convinced Ross O'Brien that in fact he did consume vegetables when he said he didn't, because a leaf or a root is a vegetable and tobacco is a leaf.
I didn't know that you could smoke your vegetables.
Yes,
though.
you can.
Okay.
Apparently. All right. So what's your golf cart routine?
My golf cart routine. What is my golf cart? Just smoking cigars. That's all I
You're
do.
all over the map. You're everywhere.
So the
I'm all
vi-
over. I just drive around and I find people to smoke cigars with.
the vice and the routine are the same.
Yeah, that's just all I do. I'm just super known for that. So starting my first Tuesday, the golf carts don't get here till Tuesday midday, do they? So
Morning.
Tuesday morning, I have to be here at 3 a.m. And I think my day ends about 8 or 9 p.m. that night.
Wow.
So, because
All
that's
on
just
golf
what we
carts.
do. I wish I'd drive a golf cart to downtown LA if I can get there. Imagine
No-
25
no
minutes
kidding.
up the street.
Dude, I've driven a golf cart. I've driven a golf cart up to Casa Ross before, just because it's like I'm not parking.
Yeah, it's so crazy around here, which is why we have the golf cart. So you asked, what was your question?
What is the most challenging thing we're all working on right now?
Like I told you, patience
Yeah.
for me. I mean, it as we get really close, I'm trying to stay calm because my schedule, my personal schedule, which everybody's probably in the same boat, my personal schedule is getting double, triple, quadruple scheduled. So I've got to like go places, and what was scheduled for an hour lunch turns out to be a 15-minute lunch there, and then a 15-minute lunch at another lunch, and then, you know, a reception for 20 minutes and then another reception for 20 minutes. And I got to act like every one of those lunches, dinners, or breakfasts or receptions are the first one I showed up to that day, and somehow control my diet. So I guess that means I'm going to eat a small bit of scrambled eggs, which are going to, somebody's going to say, well, that's why you lost so much weight you didn't eat. But little do they know, over an hour period, I'll eat
that you're
7
doing-
eggs
you're
and
doing
25
three
pieces of
breakfasts and
bacon.
4 lunches.
Yeah, exactly. So what is,
Me?
yeah.
Keeping up with all the changes and trying to get sponsors correct in terms of @tags and hashtags and things like that for socials. Keeping up with sponsor logo changes, and then just staying patient too, because like I said yesterday, I was swearing at emails and going, "Just send me the damn hashtag."
Yep.
Like that.
Yep, that happens.
Yeah.
We
Mikey,
have a beep for that. Jeez.
I know, right?
My role's, it's hard to describe.
Didn't say damn that.
Yeah. You yell at computers a lot, by the way.
I am not the only one in this room who yells at computers. I'm just going to say that.
I don't do it in front of an audience, though.
So my responsibility is
You have done it in front of me.
Fair.
my responsibility is all of the logistics for the expo, as we call it, right in front of the ship. And that includes landing aircraft on a particular day and then loading in everything. That's a crazy day. But the weird thing I had to do this week is order water and Pepsi and beer for 50,000 people. Literally 2,106 cases. That's 54,000 bottles of water. I've got 9 pallets of beer coming. I've got several pallets of seltzer. I've got 800 cases of Pepsi product. And at the last minute, the 9-month reserved refrigeration trucks are not available. So that was my crisis for the last 2 days. And I know you had a crisis too, David. But it's kind of a crazy week. It's usually a well over 120-hour week for several of us. And Wednesday is our tough day because we'll start at 0600 and we'll go till past midnight, because that's the day with the comedy event and also the sponsor event on Fantail. And that includes landing aircraft in the morning all the way through well after midnight.
I'll be immediate. 03 that morning.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's a brutal week.
Wednesday's like a 20-hour.
I literally counted my hours one year. It was 119.
Yeah, don't do that.
Yeah, why would you do that? I don't know why it's even worth it.
Yeah, it's not healthy.
So we got like 50 seconds ago is when we were supposed to finish. So go ahead, David.
Yeah, mine was we weren't going to do a big video wall, and then we were. And everything was 45 days back ordered. And shout out to DVS Systems, who got me a 13-foot by 7-foot video wall shipped to us in about 4 days. They just forgot the controller. So so I had this beautiful video wall that I had to engineer a mount for, because the mounts are still 45 days back ordered. And but they were super responsive. So FedEx is delivering overnight the controller tomorrow. We'll get that built and tested. But that, and last second, like we had a sponsor, a presenter who shall remain nameless, who was like, oh, by the way, we need 100 megabit over fiber in the middle of the footprint. You can do that, right? Oh, and wireless isn't going to work. So you can run that to the middle of the footprint across a road with a wire, right? I'm like, sure, why not? So, yeah, those are our challenges.
What if we just move the ship to the center of the footprint?
It would make it a lot easier.
Yeah.
That's all right. We had people that said we should put it on a train and take it to Iowa, so that'll work.
Or in a barge.
That's why we like you, Kyle. You have the good ideas. That's awesome.
That's what I'm here for.
Jenny.
Yes. Oh, no crises. What I'm trying to do is keep the team moving in all their directions. The biggest piece for me that always lands on me usually is the exhibitor side, and the most frustrating part probably is they don't read the instructions, no matter how much you put in front of them. And they keep calling and emailing, and so last minute changes. I think that's
A good portion of America can't read, I think. I'm convinced of that.
yeah.
Coming up on a future podcast, Americans can't read.
Can't or won't.
Won't read.
They can. They won't.
Do you feel like
Investigative report.
do you feel like, so your role is a little different this year than it has been in past years? Do you feel any less stress, or is it about the same?
No, about the same, because I feel responsible for it all. Anyway.
Yeah, sure.
But that's good if we're expecting a larger crowd, larger event in general. Same level of stress. Or you just maxed it out. You don't know anything beyond that.
So Kyle, are you feeling stress?
No.
Kyle, do you know what stress is?
We can help with that if you need.
I was going to say,
Yeah. I've been trying to stay out of most of the weeds, but because I'm trying to stay focused on all the other things that we're doing, trying to move forward. I'm still trying to contact donors and let them know what we're doing with the National Museum. I'm trying to bring them here for meetings. I'm trying to just keep focused on the other things going on amidst Fleet Week, because we can't lose sight of that.
He's trying to stay out of the weeds. We're going to nickname him Captain Roundup.
Oh, before
From D-Dog to Captain Roundup.
before
Super Roundup.
I,
Coming now. New to theaters.
it's
Taking on a bougainvillea one at a time.
Kyle Abbey is Agent Orange.
If I could carry my fantastic electric Ryobi weed whacker around and utilize it for just anything really, I would. And then I got a nice leaf blower to back it up. It's fantastic. I walk around my entire house. I buzz. So man, one
With the
weekend
weed eater in the house.
there were cars. Well, if I need it.
You hear what it sounds like when you live in the neighborhood, David?
Oh, yeah.
You could use a Ryobi electric weed whacker with an electric blower.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that would last me. That would last me halfway around my building.
I was going to say, I was driving my John Deere with a flail mower behind it last weekend. So
But Kyle looks very delighted when he's talking about
no,
it.
it's cool. It is.
Well,
You're like a superhero, Kyle. Do you have a cape?
Clark
No
Kent.
case.
Clark Kent.
only
No
while I'm
capes.
using the weed whacker, but which is dangerous at times.
So
No,
in
we've
one
all
conversation,
taken-
he's talked about trying to take on a bougainvillea in the bougainvillea one in round one.
Whoa! Just the battle, not the war.
No,
It's
but
still going.
it got round one on you. And so now, this week is ding, 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 round two.
it's,
Oh,
it's not round two. It's round up.
Oh, round up.
Roundup
Ding,
2.
ding, ding. Coming this weekend.
All right, our producer's phone is making obnoxious noises.
Yeah, that's because we're supposed
GoPro
to be
keeps
off.
turning off on its own.
All right, we got to cut it. We love
Jenny,
y'all.
thank you.
Bye.
See you at Fleet Week.
Good plan,
Bye.
Jenny.
Send us your ideas. Podcast at LABattleship.com.